Well, welcome back, everyone. Sheepdog Smokey here, and I realized yesterday, before we get into this, that I actually messed up a little bit on testing the new audio settings because I moved around between them for each video, and I didn't write down what I did with them. So, the reason I'm saying this is someone had commented that I needed to change my audio capture settings to get better quality. So, what I've done is I've changed my mixer from a -7 decibels to a -2.5, which does mean I get into the yellow quite a bit more. So I have to be careful when that happens. But I think this may help because I don't often get into the red. If you've seen Mission Impossible, I don't get to toast, I just get to caution. So all of the videos you're going to see today are recorded at -2.5 decibels. Let me know if you think the quality is better or worse than what I've been putting out, because of course I do want that to be a major factor of what I record: quality sound, quality video, and so on. So let's go on and get into the article here, because right now we actually have a city trying universal basic income, which would be Stockton, California, and there are selected residents receiving $500 a month, and they're trying to prove that universal guaranteed income works. Now, right now, I can tell you $500 a month in Stockton might buy your gas and groceries. Might. Uh, $500 a month where I live in Texas would buy half of my mother's gas and the groceries to feed her, my father, my brother, and my nephew. My nephew is a 16-year-old boy, so of course, $200 a month to feed him. But, so I mean, $500 a month, yeah, it takes a little bit of pressure off of a family, but you still have rent or mortgage, you still have property taxes, you still have electricity, gas, water, gas if you have it, trash pickup, you still have your car registration every year, your inspection every year, you still have so many other expenses. So $500 a month seems to be a low amount for anywhere in California, but it, to me, it does show, even though I disagree with government provided universal basic income, it shows that at least the people who are trying this are saying, okay, we're going to start very small. So we're going to see if this actually is something that's going to help people or hurt them. Now, when you get into it, of course, it starts off, is Maggie Danang deserving of your money? How about Thomas Vargas Jr.? And they're residents of Stockton. They're a high poverty city. So that can either be a help or a hindrance to people who need to find housing, because if property values are low, rent is lower. Now, I can tell you, I lived in an area up near Dallas, Texas for about a year. And this area was not high value residency. It was a lot of businesses and a lot of apartments. And this is also 15 years ago. So think November of 2003 to November of 2004. So pushing 16 years ago, I was paying about, I want to say right at $550 a month for a shoebox. I mean, this is literally, I had a bedroom, I had a living room kitchen combination that had a bar, and I had a cramped little bathroom and a closet. And that was $550 a month. And that's in Texas, not in California, where we know cost of living is higher pretty much across the board than anywhere in Texas. Now, sure, there are exceptions to every rule, that perhaps if some of the folks that received this know each other and team up, all of a sudden they have 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 a month. That might cover rent on a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment. But, of course, what are the odds that in a random drawing that's going to happen? Of course, odds aside for Thanos, where it's all of the Marvel characters except for the original 6. Sorry for the Infinity War spoiler. It's been out over a year, so if you haven't seen it by now, I'm sorry. But what we're seeing here is this is called Seed. It's a brainchild of Michael Tubbs, the Stockton mayor, and the Economic Security Project think tank. What they're looking at is basically they're studying and promoting cash transfer. Now, cash transfer is just another way of saying income redistribution, because nothing comes from the government that did not come first from the taxpayer. Okay, the government is not in the business of creating its own wealth. Every dime the government has comes from a tax of some kind, be it a bond the people vote on to raise money for a certain thing, such as every city I've ever lived in having a bond every few years for either renovations or expansions on a school to building a new school or whatnot, or property taxes for the county, sales tax in the city, so on and so forth. But what they're doing here is they're going to be taking these people and giving them $500 a month. Now that right there, that's $6,000 a year, and I can tell you $6,000 a year is a pittance these days. I don't know many people who could have lived solely on this when I was a very young child in the early 1980s. Houses back then, yes, were quite a bit less expensive than they are now, so mortgages were less. But say the $500 a month covered a mortgage on a decent house, you're still, like I said, food, clothing, transportation, gas, insurance, electric, water, everything else. So again, I like that this is starting off slow. One thing that I did see in this is a need to see, are these folks actually going to use it to make their lives better? Or will this be basically the classic college kid with daddy's credit card? I didn't go to college right out of high school. I went, registered, went to class for 2 days, hated it, went to working full time. Story for another day. But when I went back in 2005, because I wanted to be there, and I had focused on becoming something that required a college degree, I ran into a lot of the college kids with mommy and daddy's credit card or mommy and daddy's gas card. They were the ones buying everyone lunch. They were the ones with the best new clothes, and they always had the top of the line everything. These were the kids who, as freshmen, started with the top of the line laptop computer. Today, they would be the ones with the Surface Pro or the brand new best ever iPad. And of course, it doesn't cost them a thing. And that is a danger when you just hand someone money, because money given or money received for no work has quite a bit less value than money earned. Okay? When I was a child, we did get an allowance. Now, my allowance was, I believe, $5 a month, although in the 90s it was raised to, I believe, 10 until I turned 15 and could get a job. At that point, I was working for my money. Now, 15 to 16, I was mowing yards. And let me tell you, I made good money mowing yards. I knew how. I was good. I was fast. I could mow 15, 20 yards where we were on 1/8 acre lots in a weekend. And you figure, 15 yards on a weekend, 20, $30 a pop. That's good money. Okay, that's $300 to $450 a week as a kid, basically. When I started working actually for companies, of course, I made about the same working longer hours, but I earned my money. And as such, I didn't go out and buy every little thing I wanted. I can remember going up to a music store with my sister who needed accompaniment tracks, basically karaoke tapes that before the CDG era, for church and for her school. And I remember seeing a CD I wanted. And my parents were very honest with me, because they would tell me, okay, well, how much do you have in your bank account? And I'd tell them, oh, $40. And well, that CD is going to cost you 15 after tax. That's only going to leave you 25 until your next check. I put it back. I waited and I saved until I could afford that CD. And yeah, I've made some stupid choices over the years. I've bought things that I probably shouldn't have bought at that point in my life. but it's always been money earned, not handed to me. So this is going to be a very interesting social experiment. We're going to watch, or we're going to want to watch Stockton, because if all of a sudden these people are, they've went out and gotten a car payment that's $400 a month on a car a few years newer than theirs, but they're still not working because, of course, I don't have to work to cover my car and I can afford everything else on food stamps or whatever they have. That's not the kind of thing you want to support. If this is something where you see someone who is struggling and they don't go out and buy a brand new TV or they don't upgrade their car, but you see them now going and getting clothes for their kids or bringing home more groceries than they were, or working on repairs on their home or whatnot, or they put tires on their car that they have. That is showing that there are examples of people who truly just need the hand up. I don't see it lasting long, honestly, and it is sad in a way that I'm that way. But in a city where the average income is $46,000 a year, handing people $6,000 a year, that's not going to work real well. I mean, $500 a month, that's $125 a week. That's barely above $3 an hour. And I mean, that's wait staff pay where I am. So I hope it doesn't come back and prove to be just encouraging horrible destructive habits, but I see it failing. And like I said, it's going to be one to watch. But let me know what you think, especially any Californians out there that end up seeing this, or if you have friends who are Californians, share this with them, especially if you know anyone in Stockton, because I really would like to see how this plays out. I am a history teacher by trade, but I'm certified as a social studies instructor, teacher. So sociology and psychology are something I do enjoy studying as well. And this is right up the sociology, psychology, social psychology study avenue. So I am going to be watching to see how this pans out, and I really would love to have someone local on the ground who's able to tell me, how are the residents of Stockton reacting to it? How is the government saying it's going? On and on. But remember, when you do, let me know what you think. Keep it civil. We don't learn from argument. We learn from debate. As always, please remember to like and share the video, as well as to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you're among the first to know of all new content as it is posted. Until next time, everyone, have a wonderful day.